We've all tried to get rid of that bad habit. Whether it be smoking or fast food, willpower is never enough. Many people think that all that an addict needs to get rid of their unwanted behavior is more determination. But this could not have been further from the truth. This is Willpower is Not Enough by Benjamin Hardy. The premise is that if you want real change, you need to change your environment. We're going to take Jonas as an example. When Jonas is at home with his parents, he's restricted. His mom and dad had brought him up in a traditional religious family wherein ideas that deviate from the norm are unwelcome. Jonas doesn't realize how censored he is in the house. His thoughts of being a musician or a creative artist had never been discussed in his own home because of fear. On the contrary, when he visits his aunt on the weekends, he finds an outlet for his creativity. His aunt holds different viewpoints and values than his parents and is able to give him advice and resources to help him develop his craft. Jonas plays two different roles in each environment. At his parents', he's a pacifist and a pleaser, and on the weekends with his aunt, he takes on a more motivated and purposeful identity. At his own house where he is uninspired, there is no opportunity for him to improve on his music. There's no place for him to practice, and any interest expressed in music is rejected and reprimanded. At his aunt's, he's able to focus on his potential. He's been given tools like a soundproof room, numerous instruments, and is able to discuss ideas freely. Without these key elements in his environment, no amount of willpower will help him hone his skills. The book focuses on numerous ways to make willpower obsolete. This video will discuss the 3 most practical ways in changing your environment. The first one is changing your default option. Let's make the first option you have the best one. We often take the initial choice we're given, and by changing what's default, we can immediately change our behavior. When Jonas gets home, there's a 2-hour window where his parents aren't home. Rather than partaking in activities that would help him get better at music, he goes on his phone and spends this time browsing through social media. He can change this default option by making his phone less accessible. Leaving it in his car or putting it on airplane mode could be considered. He can also make practicing the default option if he would set up all the required materials such as the song sheets and recording materials the morning of. The second way to enhance our environment is to declutter. Decluttering involves reflecting on all the subcomponents that make up your life. These are your physical belongings, suppressed emotions, and relationships. Each piece that you keep in your life costs mental and emotional effort. The more you have, the more you will have to sort through. In Jonas's case, he's in the environment that he's in because of all the relationships and materials that he has. His laptop, clothes, frustrations, and his parents, they all pull him to the environment that he's currently in. The amount of energy to get out of the environment is equal to all those components put together. So you can imagine, it's easier to get out of somewhere where there's less things pulling on you. The final concept we will discuss is the use of implementation intentions. This strategy provides us with a mechanism for us to stick to the changes we made in our environment. Implementation intentions is the application of if-then statements when we fail to do what is good for us. For example, if Jonas checks his cell phone during practice, then he will need to do 20 jumping jacks. If he skips a practice session on the weekend, then he needs to do a minimum of 20-minute meditation and reflect on his goals. This trick works because you bring your attention from the triggered temptation to the response, and all we really need is a few seconds of distraction for that craving to be eliminated. Benjamin Hardy stresses that our surroundings is the key to achieving what we want. So remember, the next time you tackle on something difficult, don't just power through it. Set your environment up for success. This concept was taken from Benjamin Hardy's book, Willpower Doesn't Work. Thanks for listening.